I'm May, and that's Fauna. And I couldn't fall asleep last night because I was hyperfixated on writing the script for this video, so here we are. Basically, these are just my tips for surviving quarantine as someone with ADHD. My first tip would be, if you don't remember the last time that you showered, stop watching this right now and go. Go shower. You'll feel so much better. So much better. Look at me. So much better. Clean hair, clean mind. Like, also the bandana, good touch. I'm glad I put it on. But hi again, I'm May. I was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 21. I am still 21. I am currently 21. So I got diagnosed a few months ago, back in November. And it has been quite the learning curve. I did a lot of research on ADHD before I got diagnosed, and ever since I got diagnosed, anytime I do anything, I'm like, it's the ADHD. There she is. I need to get back into my research. But anyways, life in quarantine is very difficult right now. It is very difficult for everyone. But as a neurodivergent person who experiences the wonders of executive dysfunction, memory loss, and rejection sensitivity dysphoria, just to name a few things, there's many more, it's really hard. It's really hard to be a neurodivergent person stuck inside and not really having a schedule or a tether. So I decided to create some guidelines for myself to act as my schedule, because if I make too strict of a schedule, I'll beat myself up if I don't stick to it. But if I don't have anything and I just keep it loosey-goosey, I won't remember any of the things that I want to do or remember any of the things that are good for me. If you want to try these things out and they don't work for you, that's okay. If you don't want to try any of these things out, also okay. This is kind of an unprecedented time for all of us right now. We've never really lived through this. So don't beat yourself up. If you just like want to lay in bed all day, I've had many of those days, and I will keep letting myself have those days when I need them. But sorry, Fauna's she's really cute. Anyways, don't beat yourself up if you can't get done the things you want to get done in a certain amount of time, or like really just any sort of scenario where you don't meet your expectations. Don't get mad at yourself, because that's just gonna make this whole experience so much more frustrating. You deserve to take it easy on yourself. Any productivity that comes out of this time is an added bonus. It is not the baseline. The baseline is survival. We're trying to survive, bro. Like health and safety, that's the number one. And if you're able to get any productivity, that's awesome. But if you can't, that's awesome. Like, you're surviving, that's what matters. Okay, so now for some tips. I kind of already said number one, which was to shower. If you can't remember the last time you showered, please shower. I truly feel so much better. So I'll just move on to tip number two, which is a daily to-do list. I know, how brilliant and original. My mind, it's so expansive. But hear me out. I am the type of person who usually has at least 2 planners at once. That's just the way I am. Sometimes when I write a to-do list in my planner and I don't complete everything, I get really upset. So my method for this is, by my bedside table, I keep a notepad. This is the one I have at the moment. It's so chaotic. I don't know where it came from, and I don't know why it was in my room. I never bought this, but it's here now, and it's what I use. And so I will get up and put my daily to-do list on this. And then the good thing about this is, if I didn't complete everything on my to-do list, it can't make me sad, because I just, like, easy. I don't have to think about it anymore. Of course, if I don't finish something important, I will transfer that to a new to-do list. However, it's a different day's to-do list, so I don't feel bad about it. A past day's to-do list that has incomplete tasks, I just get rid of it. I do not need it. I do not need to be reminded of my failures that are not failures. The point is, you're meant to rip this away. You're meant to rip it away. You're meant to throw it out, which you wouldn't necessarily want to do in like your actual planner. So just keep that in mind. So my third tip comes with a little story time. So when I got diagnosed by my psychologist, they told me that medication was a great route, but that also lifestyle changes could help ease symptoms. And I need to do a little bit more research on this to fully understand the nuance of the science of it. But from what I remember and understand from the appointment where I got results, is that brains with ADHD didn't develop as many dopamine receptors, just when the brain is developing, but that exercise can help counteract that by creating dopamine receptors and all that jazz. I need to further look into the science because I think that's really fascinating, especially if that's like actually what happens. But what my psychologist recommended is that 30 minutes a day of exercise can be really helpful, even if it's just walking. I actually went on a run earlier before I showered, and I really like running. I used to run all the time when I was younger. I did track. I'm trying to get back into it because I haven't run in a while and I'd like to train for a 5K. I've been doing yoga, I've been going on walks, and I don't push myself too hard every day. That's not the point. You don't need to push yourself hard. You just kind of need to like just use your body a little bit. You can just walk. If you're able-bodied, I have found that exercise has been a pretty effective way to keep my mood more regular and smooth out the really highs and lows I'll have, and I highly recommend it. Number 4 is a very simple one. If you have a schedule right now, like if you're doing online classes, if you unfortunately are one of the people who has to work, or if you're working from home, if you have any sort of commitment at the moment, write it down. Get a Google Calendar, write it down on paper and tape it where you'll see it. Make sure to check what day it is. All of those little things will keep you tethered to your day-to-day. If you can see up there on the wall, I'm trying to put my best to point to it, I wrote out a schedule for every single day. It's easier for me to try to do something if I know what my whole day is gonna look like. It seems simple, but it's easy to forget. It's so easy to forget. So keep that in mind. My next tip, number 5, is to make sure you have a place to work that isn't your bed. Don't work in your bed. If you can help it, don't work in your bed. Because, oh man, working in your bed, they say it all the time, but it will mess with your sleep so hard. I try to not spend too much time in my bed, despite how much I love my bed. I am trying really hard to at least limit the amount that I work in my bed. How many times can I say bed? Let me know.
8 times. I said it 8 times. Also, as you can tell, I'm not very good at not working in my bed, as I am here editing and I am hanging out in my bed, and that's paint on my sleeve. Anyways,
So what I did, which you may have noticed by now, is that I have a closet desk. I made a closet desk and I brought a chair from the dining room up to be my desk chair. And it's really cute. It has a little section, you can see the little bunny ears. It has a little section for Fauna to hang out underneath. Whenever I'm sitting at my closet desk, she likes to sit right underneath the chair. It's really sweet. Let me just show you. So this is my closet desk. I love it. I have a little container that has a bunch of markers and different things that I could possibly need. I have like hand sanitizer up here. I have things on the walls to look at. I have these lights. So I'm in perfect lighting to do work. It's great, and it's a designated area that I can do my work. But also, don't be afraid to change up the place that you do work. Like, I also like to work here and here. The camera's super tilted, but what can you do? Basically, I like to change up the scenery quite frequently so that I don't get bored or stuck in a hole. If I change up my scenery, it helps keep me pretty happy, not gonna lie. Do what you can with what you have. Well, that was a very fun adventure and divergence from the plot. Anyways, my next tip. What number is it? Ooh, number 6. My 6th tip is the one that I'm the worst at. I am so bad at it. I am so bad at it. Have a set bedtime. Have a set bedtime. It makes all the difference when I'm actually able to do this for like, you know, like for only a few days in a row and then I ruin it. Or not that I ruin it, I just don't get used to it. But whenever I have a set bedtime and I go to sleep between like 10:30 and 11 and I wake up the next morning like, ooh, really early and full of life and energy. I love mornings. I've come to realize that I'm a morning person. You have to take that all into consideration of when do you find it easiest to start tasks and when do you enjoy being up the most, and then set your bedtime and your wake up time around that. And I promise it will make all the difference. Suddenly you'll have so much more energy, you'll just be so much happier. And when you have energy and happiness, everything else, I mean, it's a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie to you. It makes my life personally a lot easier. When I get up early in the morning, I feel like, oh yeah, I can do things. I can do things. I have time and I can do things. And it makes it easier to force myself to do the tasks that I typically will just put off for forever because executive dysfunction. Even if I do nothing all day, the simple fact that I slept enough and had a bedtime and a rise time makes me feel a little bit more pulled together, you know? Even if I truly just sit and do nothing all day, which happens a lot. I've been liking doing Duolingo before bed, I like to read at night. I make sure all the lights are dim. I have a light bulb that I control via app and can change colors and stuff. It's the best $25 I've ever spent. Yes, I did spend $25 for a light bulb. It's great. Go to bed. Tip number 7 is one that truly for me works. It is the only thing that works for me for overcoming as much as you can possibly overcome executive dysfunction. It does that like as much as possible. It kind of has 2 components to it. So what I like to do, if I have something that I need to do or want to do but can't do, I will just say, okay, so for 10 minutes, you must do this thing. And you must do this thing for the whole 10 minutes. You must fill the 10 minutes with just doing this. And once the timer goes off, you're done. That's it. But it's all just a ploy because a majority of the time I get so into it in those 10 minutes that I just keep doing it until I end up completing the task. It is the best trick for starting because you're held accountable by this timer. And after 10 minutes, if you're not feeling it, yeah, stop. You did exactly what you said you were gonna do. You did the thing for 10 minutes. That's awesome. But like probably I'd say like 70 to 80% of the time, I keep doing whatever it was because I'm like, sure, I finished the timer, but now that I've started, I want to finish the task. And it'll kind of just set me off in doing a bunch of the different tasks that I needed or wanted to do. The second part of this tip for tricking yourself into doing things is also having set soundtracks for it. Anytime I do homework of any sort, writing papers, researching, writing plays, brainstorming plays, I listen to the Grand Budapest Hotel soundtrack. I've been doing this since 2018, just that soundtrack. The composer was my #1 artist of the decade on Spotify. I have 40 recorded hours of listening to that album on Spotify, except before I got Spotify Premium. I listened to it a lot on YouTube so that it would be in order. So I probably have listened to it for triple or like quadruple that amount of hours. It is the only thing I listen to when I do work. The only thing. And that's gonna be different for everyone. It just revs me up. And now it's like Pavlov's dog sort of thing. I hear it and I'm like, oh, I wanna do work. And then I listen to like Riot Girl music when I clean my room. Like, it just depends on what is going to help you propel that action forward into completing it. If you correlate the sound with the action enough, once you hear the music, once you turn it on, you'll be like, oh, well now I kind of like wanna do this thing. It's a great trick. 10-minute timer and soundtracks are the key, at least my key, I hope maybe if you don't do that already, that it'll help you, because honestly, ooh, it works so great for me. It's so great. I love it. My eighth and last tip, that's the word, is to make sure you schedule time for the things you like doing. Whether it's practicing an instrument, practicing a language, reading a book, do those things. Reach out to the people that you love. Reach out to the friends that you miss. Every day that I FaceTime my friends, I always feel absolutely elated. I feel so much better. Making yourself focus your energy on something outside of you, so like a task outside of you, a hobby outside of you, a person outside of you, I find has helped keep me out of this cycle of putting all of my attention and focus inwards and then getting lost in the void of myself, basically. So focusing all of this attention and your time and your energy outwards is great for not getting trapped in any of the negative stuff that can happen when you spend all your time focusing on yourself. My rabbit is stepping on my leg. Hi! But especially reaching out to your friends and loved ones is it's the ultimate mood booster, because no one's doing the best right now. And we can always stand a little quality time with someone that we love, even if it's unconventional and like just through FaceTime right now. Yeah, keep doing that. People are very important right now. Keeping up connections is really important right now in the small ways that we can. Helps ease the burden of the things, of all the things. So yeah, these are some of my tips for surviving quarantine as someone with ADHD. I've just used these as a guideline every day for me to keep myself tethered to the world around me and tethered to myself. It's helped me out a lot with managing my emotions and moods, and it's helped me not forget the schoolwork that I have to get done, despite feeling like school is fake. Apparently it's not. Shocking to me to hear that. If any of these tips seem like they'd be helpful for you, give one or two of them a shot. Do not overload yourself and do all of them. It's so many things. Take it easy on yourself. Nothing is a failure, and you're doing great, and I hope you're staying healthy and safe and well, and that you're keeping your distance from people and staying inside at every possible moment. It's hard, but if we do things that can ease the burden and the pain of all that, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. But yeah, I've been May. I hate that I said that, but I said it, so it's staying. I've been May. Thank you for watching, and do something today that scares you. Bye.
Almost forgot to mention, I'm not a psychologist. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is all just from my personal experience of being a living and breathing human person who has ADHD. For any further help or for seeking out a diagnosis, definitely consult your psychologist or psychiatrist or even therapist. My therapist encouraged me to seek out a diagnosis. Consult your brain person for further help on the matter. And yeah, be well. Bye.